One of the hardest things to overcome when you're trying to get out of debt is saying the little word no. Whether it's saying no to family and friends, to going out to eat, to borrowing some money, to going shopping, to basically the things that made you get into debt in the first place. If you don't have the strength and the courage to say no, you'll never get out of debt. When you're dealing with close friends and family, trust me, I know how hard it is. I wanted to share a personal story of how I had to say no, which was extremely uncomfortable, but I knew I had to do it, otherwise my financial future was in jeopardy. In the first few years of being a financial advisor, I was able to get most of my student loan debt paid off. I had a good credit score and things were going as planned. Now this is back in 2004. My mom had just moved to Las Vegas and she was dabbling in some real estate. Now, if you remember what was going on in Las Vegas real estate, things were really booming back then. My mom had made some questionable financial choices, so her credit really wasn't where she needed to be, so she needed someone to co-sign for her to buy some of these investment properties. So where did she go to? Her young son who had really good credit. Yep, that would be me. You're looking right at him. So we spent a few phone calls and she was trying to sell me on the fact how this would be a great investment opportunity for myself, how the real estate market in Las Vegas was booming and how I could make a lot of money. I ain't gonna lie, there was part of me that was tempted. I was a numbers guy and the thought of taking a small amount of money and turning it into a big pot of money in a very short amount of time was ultra attractive. The more I thought about it, the more I realized I didn't know anything about real estate. I had no business investing in real estate whatsoever. I had a young girlfriend who would soon be my wife, and we were starting our future together. So I just really, more I thought about it, I didn't really want to jeopardize my future for something I didn't quite get. So ultimately, what does that mean? That means I had to call my mom, the person that gave birth to me, and tell her no. I had to tell her that I wasn't going to co-sign for her on this investment property. So first thing about me, I hate confrontation. I hate it. When I'm watching a scary movie on TV, I'm the guy that has to cover my face with a pillow. All right, just let me know when the scary part's over with, okay? So for me to make that phone call, I was a nervous wreck. I was actually outside of my house. I was pacing like a nervous fool making that phone call. But I called her and I said no. And initially she was upset. I was actually very frustrated with her response because I thought that she'd be understanding. And I come to realize that most family and friends, when you tell them no, when you tell them something that they don't want to hear, their response usually is not good. And it's very frustrating because you know that, and that's why it makes it so much harder to say no when you know you have to. So I'm lucky now where I can look at hindsight 2020 and realize what would have happened if I would have done that. If I would have co-signed that loan and bought that investment property, we know what happened in the real estate market. Las Vegas fell completely under. These investment properties were all subject to short sale. She lost her butt. And if I would have co-signed, my financial future would have been ruined. So how are you letting your family and friends ruin your financial future? Are you loaning money to them when you know that you just can't afford it? If you ultimately want to get out of debt, if you want to finally get control of your financial life, you have to say no. You have to find that courage, and you might hurt some people, but you can't let them continue to hurt you. You have to take care of yourself first. They'll eventually get it. They'll come back around. If they really truly love you, they will come back to you, I promise. It's time to stand up for yourself, and it's time to say no. Take back your financial life. This is Jeff Rose, Good Financial Sense, and DebtMovement.com.